If you're a content creator and you're looking for a wireless microphone system, you may be wondering why I'm talking into a high-end microphone like this. Don't worry, it's not even plugged in. What you're actually listening to is the microphone that we're going to be covering today. This is the 7RYMS RimoMic Pro wireless lav kit for smartphones. So I've been a content creator for the past 10 years and it's just been a hobby of mine, but audio quality is a big deal. You may be able to create videos with a potato, but if your sound is bad, people won't watch it. Your sound has to be half decent. How do you get that? That's just been something I've had to fight with over the years. I've had wired lav mics, I've had shotgun mics, and my most recent situation was a wired lav, almost wireless, where I would use an old smartphone and this, which is my Rode Smart Lav Plus. And this would be connected to my smartphone and it would be recording in my back pocket. And that gave me a certain degree of flexibility. One, it gave me that ability to move around and I was recording personally to my phone on me the whole time. I didn't have to worry about a wireless system running to the camera where I may lose connection or I may have not connected it to the camera properly and I've lost all my audio. On top of my camera is a shotgun microphone, and that always records a backup of my audio. And that way I can have a fallback situation just in case. Content creators do run into this kind of situation. The reason I like this system, the 7RYMS, I bought this myself. I wasn't sent it, I haven't been paid for this. I bought it and I wanted to try it for myself. It cost me £39 on Amazon, and genuinely I'm quite surprised at what you get for this. Obviously, you get the microphone system, and it's a twin microphone system. So there are two here. You also get a receiver which plugs into your smartphone. And the nice thing about this one, and I think it may be unique to this price point, is that the receiver actually has its own display, allowing you to see the connection status of your microphones, whether or not they're muted, their gain levels, their battery levels, and their signal levels. So I don't need to be looking at my phone, and what you can see here right now is an actual live transcript. This is me talking into my phone, and my phone is recording everything. So the audio from these microphones are only going here, it's not going into the camera. Now, like I said, because it runs into the smartphone, it's connected here through the USB-C port of an old phone of mine. If you want to, you can have a version for iOS devices which has a lightning connector. Make sure you pick the right one for you. You can also connect it to your PC. If you already have a USB-C port, you should be able to connect it straight to it. If you don't, it does come in the box this USB-A to USB-C adapter. So you can connect it up to your PC if you're doing live presentations or you're on Zoom calls, things like that. You'll have a bit of flexibility there. You also get in the box a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack. This allows you to live monitor your microphones. So if you've got someone else with you checking that you're getting good signal quality and good sound, you can connect a pair of headphones to the end of this. Simply plug the other end, the USB-C end, into the USB socket that's on the bottom of the receiver, and you'll get that live audio output. Now, the nice thing about this kit, having this plugging into your smartphone, is that you can have it with you. Other wireless microphone kits will be plugged directly into your camera. And the further away from your camera you are, the more you may run into situations where you lose a little bit of your signal quality. Something may interfere, something may cut out. By having this on you all the time, you can literally put this in your pocket and walk around with it. The wireless range will never be more than the distance from the microphone to the receiver. So if this is in your pocket the whole time, that is the maximum range distance. You can walk anywhere and almost have unlimited range. A couple of other points to mention about this system. One, you'll notice that it's actually not on my neckline. If you've seen many other social media creators, you may find that they have a microphone sat like this, where you've got something on the neck of your t-shirt. If you're not someone who wears a shirt all the time and you can't put a good quality lav mic tucked away just within the buttons of the shirt, then you're going to have to wear it on your neckline. I always wear t-shirts or hoodies or something like that. It's always going to be visible on the neckline. You don't always want that. Well, the nice thing about this kit is that the back of the clips are magnetic, and in the box are a couple of magnets. And these button magnets simply snap on. This is brilliant because, as you see here, it's not on my neckline at all. It's slightly out of the way. It's slightly less obtrusive. I can push it out of the way in many different positions. I could have it off to the side on my shoulder if I wanted. I can have it further down in my t-shirt. It could even be that I'm looking for something where it's really out of shot, and I could slide that magnet down, and now it's out of shot. And I can actually switch that on. I'm going to switch these over, and I'm going to mute one. You can see the lights on here. One is white and one is red. Red means that microphone is on mute. White means this microphone is active. By the way, you can switch those lights off independently if you don't want them to interfere in your shot. But let's mute this one and activate this one. You can now see they're the other way around. This is now red, this is now white. And this microphone is now out of shot. This is the microphone that is working. This is listening to me right now. If I switch back over, now this was muted, this one is now live, and this is the sound quality you can hear from me. If you want to hear the difference between a microphone which is close to you and a microphone which is further away, I have a cheap shotgun microphone mounted on top of my camera, which is at currently about 2.5 feet away from me. And if we switch now, that is the sound quality you're going to hear. This is everything that my shotgun microphone is picking up on the camera. If we switch back, you're back to the 7RYMS wireless mic kit here, and we'll switch mics again. And now this is the one out of shot. It's a little bit further away. It also doesn't have the wind muff on it. So this is the sound quality. I'll bring it back up here now, and I'm going to give you a side-by-side sound quality test. So this is without a wind muff, and this is with a wind muff. And there shouldn't be much of a difference at all. However, one thing that will be noticeable is the fact that the wind muff does a good job of actually keeping that wind noise down. We'll give you a quick test right now. That gives you an idea of the rejection that you'll get from the wind muff. The wind muff itself is actually a really good quality piece of kit. Many of these small microphones that clip to your body, the wind muff isn't very good at staying on. It's something that clips in and it can fall off easily. That's quite a common complaint. These wind muffs are properly, they sit over my finger, and they would sit over the end of the microphone and properly sit down like a little hat. And honestly, it's not easy to come off. It's actually kind of difficult to put on, but once you've put it on, it stays on really well. And I'm really, yeah, okay, I suppose that's one drawback you could say. Because it's hard to take off, it's also hard to put. I'm not even going to do it. I'm just going to show you with this one. I mean, I'm waggling that around a lot, and this isn't, I'm giving it a fair pull, and it really doesn't want to come off. I mean, I could pull this off my shirt. I've seen some of the cheap ones. I can grab the end of that, and I can yank it off. It's still on there. It's really, really good. Also included in the box is a charging cable, because these are rechargeable. The wireless transmitters, these microphones, transmitters, however you want to call them, they should go for about 6 hours on a full charge. As for the receiver, it doesn't actually have its own battery pack, because it relies on the battery of your phone or device that is providing power to it. So it's actually taking power from this smartphone. Now, it really draws very, very little power, but if you need to, you can power your phone's battery by connecting your USB-C cable into the bottom of the receiver while you're using it, and that will pass power into the phone, so you essentially have unlimited recording time if you are connecting something to a mains adapter, or you have a power bank or something. With the microphones, if you're only using one at a time because you've got two, that technically gives you about 12 hours of charge time. It should take about 2 hours to charge up a transmitter from dead. The charging cable it comes with is a standard USB on one end, and for some reason 3 USB-Cs on the other end. I'm guessing you could charge up your phone and charge up 2 of the transmitters all on one cable, and that will get you going later on. I think it's worthwhile to talk about the volume levels of the microphone. It has 4 different gain levels for the microphones. That is shown on the receiver's screen. So you can see at the moment I'm on volume level 3 for this microphone. There's a button dedicated on each microphone which simply says VOL, and you can tap that and it will cycle through from volume 1 to volume 4. Personally, I leave these at volume level 3. I find that to be the best for where I am indoors right now, but you can change that depending on the circumstances you're in. I'm going to cycle through them and let you hear the different volume levels. This is volume level 1 of the 7RYMS RimoMic Pro. This is volume level 2 of the 7RYMS RimoMic Pro. This is volume level 3 of the 7RYMS RimoMic Pro. This is volume level 4 of the 7RYMS RimoMic Pro. Now, leaving it on volume 4, I can see a bigger difference here on the waveforms of my recorder. I prefer not to be too loud. I prefer it to come down a little bit and give me the option in my editor to boost that, rather than it be too loud because it could start to clip and cause issues. So I like to cycle back to volume 3. And that's exactly where I'm comfortable with it. So I could go all the way to volume level 4 if I wanted, but I'd rather be on 3 and give myself a little bit of space to boost it rather than be too loud on volume level 4. But you're not always going to be in an office setting like this or in a controlled environment. Sometimes you're going to be outside. I think it's worthwhile that we take this out and give it a real world test. So I'm in my garden now, and this is the kind of outdoor noise you can expect to hear. There's some birds nearby, there's a wood pigeon over there, there's people driving down the road over there. There's noise, and this is the kind of ambient noise you're going to get. I'm still on volume level 3 right now, and this suits me absolutely fine. If you were in a much noisier area, you may want to take that volume level down a bit so it doesn't get overblown. Anyway, this is the sound quality you're hearing from the microphone here, which has the wind muff on it right now, out here. And I'm going to give you an idea of the sound here. The wind is actually coming from behind me. So if I stand into the wind, you shouldn't really hear much at all. If I swap mics, now this is a live mic without any wind protection at all. There's a bit of a breeze there. You'll see what it sounds like. Now I'm going to walk away, and I want to demonstrate something here. The nice thing about this is, remember, it's recording to my phone, which is in my back pocket, which means the maximum range that these devices will be apart is only from my back pocket to my chest, which means I can take a walk all the way to the bottom of the garden. And the nice thing about it is I don't need to worry about range anxiety. I don't have to think to myself, I've created, because this means I can walk around and almost have unlimited range. Now if I swap microphones here, and I may have just changed the volume level on one by mistake. I've gone up to volume 4. There we go, back to volume 3. So that's the sound quality while you're moving around. They're hanging on my shirt with magnets and they're holding on absolutely fine. I'm now going to do a test to do with leaving the phone behind. I'm actually going to put this down on the grass right in front of me here. So I'm going to place that right there. It is now on the grass, and I'm going to turn my back to the camera. I'm going to find out what the kind of realistic range is and find out if there's any static or any signal dropping happening. Now if I walk away here and I keep my chest to the receiver, there shouldn't be an issue. We'll find out if I turn my back on it and I start to walk away. So maybe you can still hear me right now, and maybe you can't. I'm not entirely sure. Now I've reached the end of the garden here, and hopefully you might be able to hear me with line of sight, but maybe it's a difference when I turn my back. This will all be something that we'll both find out together in the edit. And now I'm back. So let's go back inside before it starts to absolutely throw it down. So that gives you an idea of what it sounds like when you're outdoors. This is me back indoors, but just for a change, I've connected the wireless receiver to my PC. So at the moment, it's recording all audio on my PC right now, and it does recognize as a Windows compatible device. It does say it is the 7RYMS RimoMic Pro, so it's fully recognized. I don't need any extra software, any extra drivers. It works straight out of the box, plugged into the USB-A adapter. There's one other weird way you can use this thing. I know some people prefer to have it just going directly into a camera rather than on their smartphone. And it is kind of possible, but it requires a bit of a workaround. But the way you could do this is, instead of running into your smartphone, you plug the receiver into a USB power bank that has a USB-C socket, or perhaps using the adapter. Then you would have to use the 3.5mm USB-C adapter in the socket there to run a 3.5mm to 3.5mm jack plug out of this, where it would normally output the audio to your headphones, and run that into the microphone socket of a camera. It is technically doable, and therefore it would be more akin to a traditional wireless microphone system designed to plug into a camera. But that sounds a bit like too much hard work. It's possible, it's doable, and if you want to do that, you have that flexibility, but it creates a bit more work. Anyway, that's entirely up to yourself. I think, honestly, for £39, I cannot argue with this. I'm happy to have my phone with me. I'm happy to use that to record audio. The real question is it worth it? Is it worth your time and money? And honestly, I think so. For £39, I can't really argue too much about it, especially if you are a modern content creator who creates things like TikToks and Reels, that kind of thing, where you're going to be talking to your camera a lot and you want slightly better audio quality. You don't want a wire in between. You're going to be using your phone to create that content. You might as well give something like this a try. It's genuinely good quality. I'm very happy with it. Even though there is that limitation, I don't think that limitation matters too much in the context of the design of the device. It's meant to be in your phone. It's meant to give you wireless, but it's meant to also be not too far on that wireless range. It's meant to be something that's used relatively up close. If you need something else with that extra range, you'll need to fork out more money for a dedicated kit that will do 200 or 300 meters. In this one, 60 meters is about your maximum, so do keep that in mind. Anyway, if you guys found this video useful, helpful, or interesting in any way, please do go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next videos. Also, have a look down in the links below to my other YouTube channel and my podcast if you're interested in car care content. In the meantime though, I've been Specky. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next Specky Tech video.